Yeah, you've always got that issue, haven't you?
Yeah.
You're kind of like, what do they say?
Short.
And
And I said, I know it's not normal for an estate agent to get on a bed with you. I said, but you asked for a view and I'm going to give you a view. I'd like to thank...
this is where they start putting the 30-second music in the background to say, shut up, you've finished your speech. Thank you for...
giving birth to you.
Yeah, thank you for giving me life. Well, hello and welcome back to the Garners Couch Club podcast.
Yeah, and I'm Sharon, and this is Shaun from Channel 4 Sunsea and Selling Houses and Spanish Property Choice Real Estate, based in the beautiful province of Costa Almeria, Spain, and the Costa del Sol.
How are you, Mother?
I am chilled today.
You're very relaxed. You look very relaxed.
I got my gym jams on.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I'm just I'm feeling it today.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
I'm feeling
good.
calm. Yeah, I was supposed well, my gym jams. I buy these things to try and make myself look sexy, but you know they're about 3 foot too long, and yeah.
Yeah, you've always got that issue, haven't you?
Yeah.
You're kind of like, what do they say?
Short.
Wait, what do you say? Challenged? What's it?
What do you mean? What do you mean? Listen, I can't help it if I was born short. It's
Well, you weren't born short. You're just getting shorter. You're just each year like shrinking more and more.
no, it's because they make the clothes too long. That's what it is. You
Is
know.
that what you're telling yourself?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, we hope you are all doing well, and you've got your coffee, and you're joining us for today's podcast.
Yes. Cheers, everybody.
Chin chin. So, today's topic, we thought it was time to talk about Sunsea and selling houses.
Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da.
Yeah, that theme tune has haunted me for how many years now?
Yeah. Well, actually, the one thing that just sticks in my mind on after series 3. I don't know whether you remember, we went to a trade show in the UK, and we come off
airport.
the airport. Yeah, the airport.
Yeah.
And we were coming under the tunnel, and people are waiting to get on the plane. And as me, Steve, and Sean came through, and this is the God's honest truth, the whole of the queue all went da 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 da. Da. And we're like, oh! No.
Well, for anyone new joining the podcast, we are the Garners from Sunsea and Selling Houses. So we've been on the show now from day one.
Yep.
We are one of the OGs.
Yeah.
We started the series, it was 9 years ago, but we've done 8 series with how long it's taken to film. And we thought we'd just give you a little bit of sort of background behind the scenes, or a little bit of information of how we actually got, first of all, involved in the show, which was a whirlwind. How it is to... I swear, Mum, this house is haunted. Every
Your
time
nan's
I come
to
here,
visit. Yeah, she likes to be involved.
there's some very unusual sounds going on.
Yeah. Actually, just talking about that in one of our podcasts, and I was talking about Nan and Nan's crutch. You won't
Yes.
believe how many people's contacted me to say, sorry, what did you mean about your Nan's crutch? Don't touch your Nan's crutch. Well, a crutch is like, she'd only got one leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was what it was.
And what did they think it was?
I don't know, but they were asking me what it was. But then it brought back a memory. Sorry, I'm going off on one at the minute. It brought back a memory. Do you remember when we were moving over here and we got the packers in to be packing everything up?
Yes.
And do you remember the guy being in the conservatory and shouting through, "Have I got to take everything?" Yeah. And I went, "Yes, just don't touch me Nan's crutch." And there was 3 of them, and they just burst out laughing. Do you remember?
I do. I remember you wrapping it up and it looking
like
very dodgy.
Anyway, we yeah. What was he talking about?
Sunsea and Selling Houses.
Oh, right, yeah.
So obviously we'd just give you a little bit of a rundown of how we got involved. And I think what a lot of people don't realise is that we were already on television without being on television, because we were one of the very first, if not the first, estate agent in our local area to be a part of A Place in the Sun. So, A Place in the Sun, most of you will probably know, is a very successful property TV show. And they work in a very different format, don't they? They use estate agents to find the properties behind the scenes, but you never see the estate agents on camera. So we were one of those agents that they'd used to contact us. We'd get a phone call from the directors to say, we need properties in Mahaka or in the local areas, and we'd help them find them, wouldn't
Yeah,
we?
we supplied many properties to Place in the Sun, and we met Jasmine and Johnny and Laura on a regular basis. Lovely, wonderful people. But yeah, completely different format to obviously our show, because obviously, you know, we are an obdoc. Sunsea and Selling Houses is an obdoc. It is basically the crew follow us around doing what we do on a day-to-day basis. Of course, some of it is going to have to be formatted, and it's developed into that a little bit because we've had other agents join us. But initially, it was that. Should we start right at the beginning?
Let's start right at the beginning.
Right. Well, the day I was born,
I wanted to be on television, be a star.
no, when we moved to Spain, the last thing, it would never in a million years have crossed my mind that, you know, we're now 9 years on and we have and been part of a massive TV show. It was never, ever, it was just never thought of, was it?
No.
So the way it started is we'd been running Spanish Property Choice since 2007. And then in 2016, was it? I think it was 2016.
I'm very bad at math, but
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, it was either 2015 or 16. I ought to get my facts right before I do anything like this. So one day, we were sitting in the office down in Mahaka, because at that time we did only have the one office. And we had this phone call out the blue by a lovely lady called Claire Egerton-Jones. And
Well, actually, you always miss a detail whenever you tell this story, is who actually took the very first phone call.
tablets. Sorry, it's my age, son. When you get to my age, you have to remind yourself.
If it's not haunted sounds going on in this house, it's your tablet alarm going off. Oh, dear Lord.
No. Carry on. Go on, you were saying.
Yes.
Did you take the call?
The very first phone call I answered, and I thought it was a wind-up. They were saying, we're calling, we're potentially looking for family-run businesses, estate agents in the area. Would you be interested? And I thought, this has got to be a wind-up. This is someone just pulling our legs. So my answer was, well, I'll speak to mother and father and we'll get back to you and let you know. And that's when I arranged the second phone call.
Oh, is
which
that
was
what
when
it
you
was?
Yes.
Right. I'll let Shaun take that
Yeah.
then. Yeah.
All the credit is down to me.
After this conversation, the original plan for this new idea that Claire had got was to have different families that had all moved from the UK, had set up a business. I think she was talking about one in Portugal, one in Spain, one in France, one in Italy, and they were possibly going to have 4 or 5 families. And they'd done a lot of research, and we came up on that research as a family business that had done just that. Now, what they actually did is they asked if they could come over and do a casting, I suppose, for the first show.
It was like a pilot, wasn't it? That they had to film to then broadcast it to all the channels and see if anyone would pick up the show.
Now, I believe that they did actually film a couple of agents in this area. So obviously, I suppose we thought, oh well, we haven't got much chance really. But anyway, the way that it all started when she arrived, she came over with a camera crew, and basically just filmed us in the office. It was just literally our office. Mahaka office is always busy, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's always something happening in there. And I was actually standing outside the office taking pictures of them, just filming you guys in there, sort of doing, well, was you working?
I wasn't around a lot that first day.
No.
No, because I was out on viewings, and that's why you and Dad
Yeah.
ended up doing the.
Well, they used to, I mean, this
filming.
tiny office in Mahaka, at one point we had 14 of us in there. And, this is the truth. Literally, I got to the point where we didn't have any space left in there. Do you remember?
Well, if any like health inspectors asked, we only had 3 members of staff. We all had enough space to work. No one was sat in the toilet on a desk.
No, but I was sitting right by the door on a tiny desk that was literally the size of my laptop.
I remember that.
And
yeah.
as people were walking in,
Like the receptionist.
The reception. How can I help you? If you'd like to go to that desk, yeah. Fun days, really fun days. As I say, we always have a lot of fun in the SPC offices, and every day is different. But this day was different because we've got a film crew in there. So I'm standing outside and I'm taking these pictures, and this guy came up to me and he sort of nudged me and he said, "Are you anything to do with this?" And I said, "Yeah, this is my business, and we've got a crew over that's doing a pilot sort of show for a potential new property show." And what was his name? Trying to think.
The client?
Yeah,
I can remember her.
Yeah. Mark and
Paula.
Lord. Yeah, Mark and
Mark?
Paula Lord.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Mick and Paula Lord. Yeah, sorry, let's get it right. Mick and Paula Lord. Anyway, Mick actually said to me, he nudged me and he was asking what was going on. Then he said to me, "Can you tell me, can you buy a nice apartment here, 2-bedroom apartment for €125,000? And I said, "Well, yeah, of course you can." He said, "Well, I've been here a week." And he said, "I've been out with every agent and I haven't seen anything that's even remotely like I'm looking for, and not for that sort of price bracket." So I went, "Walk this way." Walk this way. And he came into the office, and straight away, obviously, because, there was an opportunity to talk to, a client.
Yeah.
They filmed it. And the one thing that we got from, that I got from Mick and Paula, was it was really important that they were near a school because they were bringing their daughter with them. So I mentioned a couple of resorts, and I said, "Have you been to the Landaluth resorts?" And they went, "No." And I said, "Well, that's where you need to be because that's where the international school is."
player.
Yeah. I said, "I've got some beautiful properties there I can show you." And literally, I said, "Would you like to go now?" And Claire was like, "Oh, we're going out. We're going out on a viewing." And Mick and Paula was so much fun. They were up for anything, and they were excited to see these properties. So we went out on this viewing, and your dad came with me. And I just said to Claire, we're just gonna do, Claire, what we do on a normal basis.
Yeah.
We're not actors. Please don't ask us to act. And she said, "No, we're an obdoc. All we want to do is just literally just follow what you do. Just do what you do." And I thought, okay, then I'm going to just do what we do. So we go looking at these properties, and they love the development. It was absolutely perfect for them. And we did have a couple of laughs because the one, Mick kept saying about he wanted a view. He must wake up to a view in the morning. And I think it shocked everybody because when we went into the 1-bedroom, I mean, we'd been with them a few hours by this time, so I'd got to know them and I'd sort of, you know what I'm like when I get going.
Yes, don't I just?
We went into the bedroom and I got on the bed. And Paula started laughing, and I said, "Mick, come and lie by me." And Claire's face was like, "What?" Anyway, Mick came round and he lay on the bed, and I said, "Well, you asked for a view," and I was like making a joke that it was me, and he was laughing. I said, "Now turn round." have a look at that view out there. Is that what you want? And he said, that is everything that we've dreamt of. And I said, I know it's not normal for an estate agent to get on a bed with you. I said, but you asked for a view and I'm going to give you a view. And then we did that one. Then we went to another property. And Paula mentioned, we were looking in the bathroom, and Paula mentioned that she didn't think the bath was big enough. Yeah. Shoes off. And I was straight in the bath. And now the thing is, they actually said to me, any of this footage won't ever be used on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me getting in the bath was on series 1. Yeah, in the opening credits. Yeah, do you remember that?
Yeah.
So yeah, and then we had a really, really good day with them, and it turned out that we went back to the office and we'd found them their dream home, and they purchased on that pilot show. So obviously by the end of the day, we'd had a full day filming, we'd had a lot of laughs, and we were just us. We were just doing what we were doing. And then afterwards, I thought to myself, oh dear, is that going to come across okay? We do class ourselves as different agents. We're not the normal agent, are we?
Well, no, because I think we found the fine line of being professional, but also being ourselves, which I think is the main thing that's come from the show, is that we made it very, very clear from day one, from that pilot show, moving into actually being picked up for the television. We always said, look, we're not actors. Don't give us a script, because we've tried that to see if it would work, and we just went into meltdown. And it was a case of just follow us doing our daily job, follow us in our normal lives, and if people like it, fantastic. If it doesn't work, then we also understand. But obviously,
I think if you try too hard and you try and change what you normally do and what you normally say, I mean, obviously being Brummies as well, it's we were thinking, well, is that going to go down well? But at the end of the day, I just said to the family, we literally, we just need to be who we are, because you can't. When we're not actors, we're not actors. We are.
No, not
who we
at
are.
all. And I think it's a case of when we'd done that pilot show, and obviously it went quiet.
It
because
did.
Claire said, right, we're going to now put that together. We're going to see. I mean, I don't know how it works, but basically, I guess that they offer it out to channels.
They pitched it to all the channels.
Yeah.
And from what I was told when we did finally get the call, was that Channel 5 wanted the programme, but they wanted some more episodes before they committed. But Channel 4 basically commissioned 25 one-hour episodes straight away.
Yeah.
And they offered the fantastic job to us, and also to the Rodriguez family up in Alicante.
Yes.
The two families obviously went down well, and they decided that's what it would be. It would be us and the Rodriguez family.
The two families, which was nothing like what they'd originally planned.
No.
The show I think that they had in mind was something completely different, but it must have just worked. I think they were happy with what they got from the pilot shows, and then it was commissioned, and I still to this day can't process that feeling. And when we got the phone call and it was, oh guys, great news. But my memory's terrible on a lot of things, but am I right in saying, did we not get that phone call and then it was very soon after, it was, we're sending a camera crew out?
Well, we had a Zoom call with all the producers.
Oh, that was right, in the back office, yeah.
We had to have all the family there, even the grandchildren were there, and we had to talk to the producers. And again, that was quite an informal chat, and then that's when they sort of officially offered us this fabulous opportunity, because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. It just came out of nowhere. And they literally said, right, okay, we're ready to send a camera crew over. And we started filming, and I mean, I don't know whether this is true or not, but these are the things that obviously we were told back in the day. Our first series producer and director was Mr. Alan King.
Oh, Alan.
Our
Yes,
Alan.
we miss you.
We do. We love Alan. Alan filmed us for series 1 and 2.
Yes, yeah.
But, Alan stayed with us for 7 months for series 1. And he, the whole team worked just from morning till night. They just filmed everything, didn't
Well,
they?
it was a new program, so I think we'd never been on television, so obviously we were trying to learn the ropes, but also that I think really they knew the concept of the show, but with it being a new show, it was sort of, well, let's just see how it goes. Let's see
I think film everything really to
Yeah.
see what you can make of.
Yeah, and I think that was
Yeah.
it. Series 1 and 2 especially, they were both sort of less scheduled.
Yeah.
It was okay, yeah, we'll just film everything, and it was a lot of hours filmed,
Yeah.
a lot of months.
Over 600 hours, I believe.
For them to
filming.
then realise actually how the show was going to come together. And obviously, as the years have gone on, it has made life a lot easier because we know what we're doing now.
Do we?
Well, we
Really?
think we know what we're doing. And the format of the show has now fallen into what it's going to be. So, 8 series in,
Yeah.
we know, what we're going to film, sort of how we're going to film it.
Yeah.
But that feeling of when we got the phone call and okay, we're going to start series 1, I was terrified.
Yeah.
I was very, very scared.
Yeah.
And I think it wasn't even the having the cameras around or anything. It was just the thought of going on national television and people are going to have an opinion.
Absolutely.
You're going to get good feedback, bad feedback. But I think for me, it was more of what could this do to the business? Because that is always a concern. However people perceive you as a family or a business, you don't want anything to look bad.
Yeah.
And luckily, because of, I think, how they've just let us do what we do anyway, and the way that it's been put together, touch wood, up until this day, it's been nothing but beneficial.
I think series 1 was definitely frightened for the whole. We were all frightened because you're exactly right. You don't know how you're going to come across to people. You don't know whether people are going to like you. I mean, I was obviously overweight, which could have been something that I could have had a backlash on.
Mum, I went through 3 whole series with a waistcoat that I couldn't even do up. Why did no one say to me, Shaun, you need to buy a bigger waistcoat?
Yeah, but the thing is, the other thing they don't tell you as well is as we do each episode each week, we do 2 days filming with our clients. They are genuinely our clients. These, the people that you see on the show have been in touch with us for a long time. They've got to know one of our members. We always allocate a member of the team to whoever it is. We don't call them clients, to be honest with you. It's not something. It's a regular thing, because we do actually become quite friends with them before they even get here. They're genuinely asked if they want to be on the show. If they, yes, they do only see 3 properties, but you must remember that we've been working with them for a long time, and we home in on exactly what they want. And we've discussed this before. The one thing is with us, we talk a lot.
Really?
We do. We talk a lot. But we do that for a reason, to make sure that we are showing the right properties to our friends. It's when we started the show, we made it quite clear to Ricochet, who are part of Warner Brothers, who are the ones that are filming us, that we weren't prepared to change. That what you see is what you get. How they cut us, we have no control over what's put onto the show. If ever they did an outtake show. Ooh.
It would be interesting.
You beep, beep, beep. But everything was new to all of us. It was new to the team, that we were meeting new people that were with us for 7 months. And it was scary. And I'm going to be genuinely honest at this point, and you probably won't like me saying this, but you know what I'm like. I'm going to say it as it is. Locally, and I'm only saying locally, it didn't go down very well.
No, I think
Yeah,
it's hard
I know
to put
you
in words because we got unfortunately, the only backlash, if that's what you want to call it, we got was from local other agents,
Yeah.
competing agents.
Yeah.
And I think it was a shame because obviously we never agreed to do the show to be on television. Even to this day,
No.
we don't do it to be on television.
No.
We love sharing our lives now. We love the following that we've built, and we're really, really appreciative of that. But we do it because it's exposing this area. It's helping, obviously, the property market. It's helping people sort of get knowledge on moving to Spain. We're doing it for those reasons. But unfortunately, there was some backlash.
Oh yeah, the local
and
forum. I mean, the Jungle Drums, were going, and we did get, but from the general public and from viewing figures, hence why we're now in Series 8.
doing a podcast.
And doing a podcast,
As you
yeah.
do.
It was all over the forums that we were unprofessional, that we'd never get another series, and the Green-Eyed Monster. Do you remember that?
I remember that. There was
Yeah.
this huge post put up, wasn't it? They'll never get renewed for a second series. It's a one-hit wonder. Series 8
Yeah,
in the bag.
Yeah, and I mean, I know that's sort of gloating, but we're proud because
We've done so much work, and I think this is one of the main things I always try and get across to people is we are so appreciative to be part of the show, and we do feel like it's our little baby because being in it from the very beginning, being one of the original families, it's been amazing to watch it grow and then families coming in, but we do feel like it's our little project, and we've helped.
obviously we've sold so many properties on the show, and obviously those people that have been on the show get recognised, and we still see them on. Well, you actually were literally doing a viewing. Was it this week with the
Yes.
dog in Alpha
Yeah,
X?
yeah.
Actually, I shouldn't have said that because that's on Series 8, isn't it? We didn't
Can't talk
we
about
didn't
that,
sell a
yeah.
house in Alpha X on Series 8, to somebody that was bringing their dog over. What was the dog's name?
That'll be giving too much information.
But yeah, it's nice to see those people now happy and enjoying life here as well.
But my point was, I don't think people actually know, unless they're a client that's been on the show or they've been involved in some way, how much work actually goes in. And it's
don't.
not kind of, oh, woe is us, it's the filming and the work that goes into it from the crew, from the behind the scenes, from the editors, from us. It's a huge team to come together and make the show.
Yeah.
So yes, it can be people saying, "Oh, well, they just want to be out on the television. Oh, they're not estate agents. They're actors." I don't think they realise actually how much we put into it and how much we dedicate our lives
Yeah.
to the show.
And being honest with you, how much it hurts, because it hurts me, because I see, the family working so hard. I see all of our team working so hard. Our daughter who runs the business, whilst we're filming, because, we can film 6-7 months a year sometimes. It depends on, how many episodes we're doing. And in the early days, believe me, it was, from like 9 a.m. till the crew could be still with us at midnight sometimes. And it was full on. And what people forget is, yes, we're doing the TV, we're on the TV and we love it, but we're still running a business. And when we finish filming, we still have an 8 hours day, normal day's work to do. So it was a good job that I didn't sleep. I only used to sleep an hour a night. And I would come home. And obviously because the show was popular, and certainly when the series is on, I mean, we all get 200-300 emails a day, to the point where even our website was crashing on a constant basis. We had to take 2 big external servers of our own, because our website gets seen that many times, it crashes a lot. So the volume of work, it was the filming, it's the making sure our clients are getting exactly what they want, or our friends as we call them, get exactly what they want, and still do our normal daily job. We still had normal viewings to do. We still had take-ons to do. Feedback and.
But I think that does relate to people not knowing what goes into making a television show, because we didn't.
No.
We agreed to do the show and took it on, and without realizing to do one viewing it takes 4 hours. We never. I mean, we've managed to get that down now with the crews that we get and how well we know what we're doing. But I don't think we knew what it entailed to make a television show, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of people behind the scenes. And
I think everybody that's filmed with us, every person that's filmed with us, have all said to us, they've had an amazing time. They really enjoyed it. They get the chance to spend a lot of time in the properties as well, which is a good thing, because normally on a normal viewing trip, you're sort of in and out because you've got to get so many in. So they get plenty of time at the properties. They get to stand on the land. They get the shazza tingle, and they appreciate that. They also get a lot of information from us, because obviously we're with them literally, all day, giving them that information. Yeah. And just to touch on that subject, obviously we get asked a lot for the show, can you mention can you mention what's happened with Brexit? Can you mention what the taxes are? Can you mention the new 90-day rule and all that type of thing? We can't do that because, unfortunately, by the time that the series goes to air, that information is more than likely out of date. So, it's time specific, which we can't do.
Yeah.
But I've got to tell you that there is not one single thing that our clients aren't told.
No,
they get full.
And the editors unfortunately get to hear it all because
they're bored.
The mics are always on and
Yeah.
they're always listening to what we're saying. But that at the end of the day, they're there to make a television show.
Yeah.
They have to pick and choose what they can fit in such a short period of time. Because again, going back to how much we film, each episode is 3-4 days of filming, and to get that down to an hour's worth or even less, because obviously each episode is shared between several families. That's a lot of information to chop out. But we always tell the clients behind the scenes or off camera, they know everything that they need to know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's important what you said about people taking part. And we don't have to convince many people, do we, to sort of take part, because when they meet the crew, we'll have a chat with them and sort of offer them the opportunity if they're a genuine buyer and they want to film. And some people I think find it very daunting, like we did the first couple of series. You can see we're like staring, thinking, what are we doing? What do we say?
Yeah.
But I think that most people that take part, they really, really enjoy it. We try and make them feel comfortable.
I've got to be honest. I'm it's bringing back a lot of memories now. I mean, series 1. Do you remember Mary and Pat?
Yes. I didn't film with them.
Yeah. Mary was actually she's. We did a revisit with Mary as well. Unfortunately, God bless her, Pat passed away. I think a couple of years ago now. But they were on that on first series, and Pat, I could have just eaten her because Alan was trying to film her and she just didn't get it. I mean, Mary was absolutely fantastic, but Pat would have her back to the camera, or she'd be looking directly at the camera, and but we have so much fun. But we do take it really seriously, because at the end of the day, this is our job. And, for us to spend those 4 days out with these people, we've still got to make money. We've got to run a business. And then obviously as the shows got more popular and our business has grown, we opened an office in Albox. Then we opened an office in Work Lavera, which we've got some exciting news about that in that particular office, which is going to come up very, very shortly, which is to do with one of my charities that I'm a patron of, and I'm really excited about it. So obviously then we got to the point where we had 3 offices to run. So that's like 3 lots of new members of staff. I mean, there was 14 altogether. And behind the scenes, you got Emma, sort of paddling away like crazy, and us trying to keep up with what we were supposed to do.
Well, mentioning Emma as well, I think that's something that a lot of people don't understand is when we were first offered the show, Emma never wanted to be on television, did
no,
she?
no.
She's terrified of being on camera. It's just, I think it comes a little bit more, not natural, but we're a little bit more comfortable. I mean, hello, we can sit here and talk. And whereas Emma, she's very business minded, very focused.
She's
and
like your dad.
Yeah, she just wasn't up for being on the show. And again, taking part in a program and still running a business, of course, if it wasn't for Emma and Matt, of course,
our
and the rest
son-in-law.
of the team, they've kept the business running in the background whilst the 3 of us, obviously including my dad, have been on camera trying to run that and trying to keep that going. So, even that, it's not been easy.
No.
Even as a family, there's been a lot of discussions over the years of, how we're going to make it work, and we've still got to make money. We've still got to keep a business running.
Yeah. Well, we keep all these people employed, and yes, you still again. You still worry about the business, even though you're filming and you're having a good time, and we have some fabulous teams. We've got Danny's just been with us, who's absolutely brilliant. Parker, I could go through them all. They've been brilliant, and they give us a lot of support. But obviously, when the cameras are turned off, then obviously they forget that we still have a job to do. And I think they've realised now after all these years what that job is, because they'll say they'll be getting emails off us at like 3:00 in the morning, or text messages. We're text messaging them at like 4:00 in the morning, because that's the thing. We've got ourselves to a point now where we are that busy that we have to do that, and we certainly can't respond straight away. I mean, I do all the social media now, and that's hard enough as well, trying to keep that going as well. Because again, we're so appreciative of everybody that follows us. I mean, we genuinely, I know I go on about my Facebook page, but I just love my Facebook page. It's so positive, and we've got such fabulous people, on there. And then you do the Instagram and I don't know what the other Spotify. I don't know what they all are. Yeah, iPods.
All the iPods.
So going back to when we started and the negativity that we had initially, we're now starting to work with some agents, and some of them we work really well with now, and I think they appreciate the fact that we have highlighted Almeria. We brought a lot of business to the area. It's not all about being on TV. We do this because we have to sell houses, and we work as hard as we can for the vendors of our properties and for the people that are looking to buy a property. And that's why we do it. We are not TV stars. We are not actors. We are estate agents.
Well, the other thing is as well, which, without saying too much, I think a lot of people have the impression that we make a lot of money from being on television. And that's not the case. And I think that may be where some of the negative comments came from before, is if people think, oh, well, they're on television, so they're getting paid to be on television.
It's not true.
It's not true.
No.
So
of course, nobody could pay for the exposure that we get.
We've never denied that.
Huge exposure.
Well, that's it for us. Advertising. Hello, it's incredible, and we appreciate what it's done for our company, and we'd never change that. But I think people, if that's it, it's to get the message across that we are doing it for the right reasons. We're not doing it because we want to be famous or because we're making millions of euros. That's not the case. We're
No,
doing it because it's beneficial to the area. It's beneficial to
it
our
helps
business,
sell
of
our
course,
properties. Yeah.
and even for our vendors. You know,
Yeah.
we can proudly say to our vendors, list your property with us, and we will give you the best exposure in the whole province.
Yeah.
Everything's changed, hasn't it? Especially in the last 2-3 years. The appreciation from, I think, the local, support team is there now,
Yeah.
and there is no real negative.
Yeah.
It's all become a lot more positive,
Yeah.
and we're very comfortable now with what we're doing
Yeah.
on the show, on the within the business.
Yeah.
So that's been
Yeah.
great.
We don't get involved in any dramas or,
No,
the real
no.
estate world in general. As far as I'm concerned, we have our business family and that's it. And that's what we concentrate on for our clients. Obviously, a lot changed in 2020 when we had COVID. That was a huge change for us because we have never sold so many properties online since we opened in 2007. But the good thing was certainly being on the show as well. A lot of people trust us. They've known us for a long time. They see what we do. We prove we're so transparent. They can see that we sell a lot of properties and we are honest with it. If there's a pig farm behind, we're going to tell you there's a pig farm behind. If there's an electric pole that's, overlooking the house, we're going to tell you there's an electric pole overlooking the house. And in 2020, that really helped. Apart from, unfortunately, our other TV family, which was the Rodriguez family, obviously Linda, bless her, she was poorly, and Manuel was poorly. I actually got COVID as well, which took me off my feet, and it's been a lot to recover. And after the world changed and we got back into filming again, because the filming was really hard after that because we had to keep so many meters distance. Social distancing. I mean, I'm a hugger. I mean, you know what I'm like. And I mean, not to be able to hug somebody, and even ending an episode, I mean, we now use the bombs, don't we?
Well, that's something people probably won't know, is that the very early series, we'd sell a house, and celebration would always be getting up, a hug and congratulations. Whereas with COVID, and we weren't allowed to do that, which actually lasted a lot longer in the TV world. We couldn't do any sort of hugging or handshakes for
Clients
years.
weren't allowed in the car with us. And,
well, it's only this last series that we've been allowed again. So it was a good 4 years that we weren't allowed to do that. So that's where you came up with the idea of, okay, well, we still need a way of celebrating and making the clients feel like we're celebrating with them, and that's where the party cannons, the confetti cannons came from.
And that had nothing to do with the TV. I mean, that is literally that's what, it's what I wanted to do. I wanted to celebrate with them and to thank them. It was a way of thanking them for spending the time with us, and it's worked out well. I'm not sure. I'm not sure there were people because people do say who cleans up the mess afterwards.
We've been lucky this last series because the crew have kind of done a lot for us, but I don't think the staff are too happy. They come in the next morning and they message in the group.
That's it. They've sold their house.
Sold where there's like confetti stuck to the ceiling.
It's dropping on them all day long, isn't it?
No, but it's been the overall answer is that Sunsea and Selling Houses has been an incredible experience, and we hope it continues.
Absolutely.
Series 8 is filmed and in the bag.
It is.
We don't have a release date yet because we don't know until you lot know. We don't get told at any time before.
It's normally somebody on my Facebook page will tell me when it started.
Yeah, the ad's just been on.
You're on next week, Sharon. Well, before we go, what I do want to touch on, and I think this is something that's important, is obviously, of course, I read a lot of the comments that have sent to me and about the format of the show and the fact that we've had to have new agents get involved in the show. It's how you look at it. I mean, I think of it as look, at the end of the day, we call it our baby, and I'm sure that the Rodriguez family feel the same because we've put so much into it for 8 years. But there became a certain point when obviously the families were starting to feel unwell. We're getting older, you know. I mean, we're all like 9 years older. It's a lot of stress. And it had to come to a point where the producers brought in other agents to help us really, because 25 episodes and all that filming's an
It was the
awful lot to
workload,
do.
wasn't it?
Workload.
It was the workload.
For both families
Yeah.
became extremely difficult. And I actually think it's really nice because now you're getting to see lots of areas of Spain, you know, lots of different locations. I mean, I know that they tried Portugal and, and there's other areas of Spain. And it must be hard for the viewing public because we get a lot of people say to us, I wish it was just the original two families. Of course, so do we. But unfortunately, hopefully after this, you'll realise the volume of work that's involved for all the families. And I think even the new families that have joined, it's took them by surprise. How much, you know, I'm sure when they were watching the show, they thought, oh, this is going to be easy. You know, this is, you know, going to help my business and I'm not going to have to do a lot about it. But they have to work extremely hard, you know, to make these episodes. And now the workload, I suppose, has increased because you've got to have different teams in different areas. And it's, you know, so there's a lot of work that goes into the show. That's all I wanted to say. And we will always be there as long as we possibly can and as long as you want us there. If you don't want us there, you're just going to have to...
I know. You just won't get rid of us. That's the problem. Do you know the amount of viewings I go on? I walk in and they've got us on the TV and I'm like, you literally can't get rid of me. If I'm not haunting you on the telly, I'm haunting you doing a viewing on your house.
Yeah. I've got to be honest, I do get a lot of pictures. Do you know something? We attract dogs. I have got so many pictures with dogs sitting with their noses on the screen, watching us on the TV.
I could answer that in so many different ways, Mother, but I'll just, okay. Dogs like to watch us on the television.
They do. But keep interacting with us.
Yes.
You know, we're doing this now. We're doing the podcast now again because you've asked us to do it. As I said to you before, I didn't even know what one was, and you wanted to know all the different things. It's going to take a while because we've got so much to tell you, and we'll do a podcast each week, and it'll go out on every Wednesday. Yeah.
Yes, we're going. Well, that's the schedule for now.
For now.
If I miss one, then please don't hate me. But yes, every Wednesday, then we'll have a new episode. And really all we can ask you to do is like the video on YouTube if you're watching us on YouTube. You can rate us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts out of 5 stars. So make sure if you like the podcast and you like what we're talking about, 5 stars. And comment. I think commenting as well, interacting with us. We do read all of your comments. Yeah. And kind of getting your feedback, getting a feel for what you're thinking about, the topics we're talking about. We do see all the questions and we promise we will film a Q&A episode where we can try and hit all the target points. But I think the general feeling I'm getting from people is they like us just sitting down, having a chat. Yeah. The amount of people that have said that they feel like they're sat on the sofa with us and having just a general couch club chat with us, then that's exactly what we want. So keep the interaction there.
Yeah, keep the questions coming in. And as I say, I've been told just to please ask you if you can like and subscribe. I've been practicing that word.
How to say it without the
because obviously all that helps us. I don't know how it works, but it does. It helps. So, but yeah, I think that's it. I think did we cover everything with?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, it's 8 years of the experience of being on the show now, but I think it was just we do get the question a lot, how did it come about being on the show and what's it like being on television and that side of it. So, yeah, hopefully this has given you a little bit of behind the scenes of being part of a very successful television show.
Yeah.
So, and we hope it continues.
It will. Yeah, it will. Hopefully, it'll continue. Yeah, but definitely at this point as well. I feel like I'm going to. Have you got a trophy, right, Ryan? Yeah, I'd like to accept this award because I want to actually, sort of dedicate this award to all the crews and the teams that we have.
What's the award for? What are you awarding yourself?
For all the hard work, because we forget them. So I wanted to say, first of all, thank you so much to Claire Egerton-Jones for contacting us in the first place. And thank you to Ricochet and Warner Brothers for giving us the opportunity. I'd like to thank...
this is where they start putting the 30-second music in the background to say, shut up, you've finished your speech.
No, thanks to all the producers and everybody that works behind the scenes, because you're the real stars, because you make it work, and we do appreciate it. And
the work that they put in as well. I
Yeah.
mean, the crews that we have.
Yeah.
Okay, we have our job to continue, but when they finish filming as well,
They've still got
to get back to wherever they're staying.
They're away from their families.
Yeah.
They're traveling all over from all over the world, and they're away from.
And
their
I know
families.
I'm not always the nicest of people. There are some times, I think we all find a very good middle ground, but there are some times
You're not a morning person.
If it's a morning shoot,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm up at like 5:30 every morning, but that's probably the problem. Sometimes if I'm like very busy or stressed, or I've got to finish filming to run off to a viewing, I can sometimes be a little bit of a diva.
You are a diva. Yeah.
Be a little bit of a diva.
Yeah.
So, the fact that they put up with that as well,
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
And that's why they deserve an award.
Oh, okay.
That
So
wasn't
we're
for
offering
me.
them the award.
Oh, I was, yeah.
I thought you were accepting the
No,
award.
no. Well, but I'm accepting it on their behalf.
Oh, right. Okay.
So,
Okay.
because one day, Sunsea and Selling Houses will get a BAFTA.
We will get a BAFTA.
Actually, we've been nominated 3 years in a row now for the TV Choice Awards.
Yes, we've yet to win, so I don't know
Yeah.
what you're all playing at people without voting.
Vote for us. Every time we're on there, please vote for us, because that would be interesting.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Even just to be nominated is insane.
We're up against, we're up against The Chase and, things like that,
We should win.
Good morning, Britain, and all that. I mean, come on. But no, anyway, let's finish it there. Yes, thank you to all the team, all the producers, the crew, for giving us the opportunity. Thank you for sticking with us and being so amazing.
Definitely.
And thank you, son, for not just being my son, but for continuing to do this journey with us.
I'm very excited. Thank you for...
Giving birth to you.
Yeah. Thank you for giving me life. There you go. There's your reward.
So, yes, thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us again and for all your support. And I hope you continue to have a shazza tingle.
Yes. Okay, Mother. We'll see you in the next episode.
Hasta luego.